It's a miracle that they're even surviving on their own on this island.
Before we begin, I would like to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. We have crossed the milestone of 10,000 subscribers. So this is not a hate video on the people who have worked on the movie, as they are really hard to make and I respect their efforts. I really don't know what happens behind the scenes while producing these movies, the kind of creative freedom the people involved in these movies get, considering the pressure to make money. And I am just some guy sitting in my home, so don't take this video to heart. But considering I really like dinosaurs, it's a shame to see the potential that could have been. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, this one's going all in.
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
Now, as soon as the movie starts, we get an unknown island location where they are creating dinosaur hybrids. So this would mean that this was happening before the Indominus Rex was created. Now here we see a researcher literally throwing a wrapper in the biohazardous workspace. And that wrapper is sucked into the vent, and that releases the so-called villain of the movie, that is the Distortus Rex, D-Rex for short. And we just get a scene from the Godzilla 2014 movie from Gareth Edwards. And I guess he was trying to put that in as a reference, but in that movie there was like a gas leak. You could reason with him not opening the door to prevent the gas leak, but here the D-Rex isn't even there. Like, there was enough time to open and close the door, but no. So I was wondering, there aren't the Mutants which have escaped coming from the other side as well. So did they all die here? They don't even tell us. Now, I don't know why recently Jurassic films focus so much on having a dinosaur as a villain. But even if they have to make it, at least make it threatening to some degree. Having some sort of specialty for the T-Rex would have been way better. Like, at a later point, we see how Dr. Loomis is all concerned about how they left all the failed dinosaurs on the island, which was a great start, but it needed more development. Like, show that the T-Rex is kept in a small space, which makes it angry, and it goes on a rampage when it finally gets its freedom. Show me how being a failed hybrid makes its life difficult. The film basically tells me that, okay, Dr. Loomis, you wouldn't believe this, but all the failed experiments are now actually living a healthy life on the island and have survived for whatever the time period was and are basically looking happy. Like, they try to create the D-Rex as the villain, which is wild how it's the D-Rex which kills the bad guy of the movie in the end, and this guy for littering there basically. It also eats and throws down a helicopter, which was really weird. Like, how big has it actually gotten from the first scene? What was it eating all the time? The Titanosaurs? It just felt forced, and it was like I'm being transported back into the Godzilla movie. If you really want to establish it as a villain, first of all, that has other challenges because you have to make an animal as a villain. Like, is a lion a villain, or is it just an animal which hunts other animals and sometimes humans? What special characteristic does the D-Rex have? You could literally put any other dinosaur instead and it would basically feel the same. The movie is trying to show me this new mutant hybrid dinosaur thing, but I kind of don't care about it. There is not enough of a difference from a generic movie monster and this thing for me to care about.
What the hell are those?
This brings me to the next concern, the mutants. I came here to see dinosaurs, and they are trying to put the message of, oh, people don't like dinosaurs anymore. Oh, they don't watch the dinosaur movies now. Our fan base tells us that we suck. No, you are the ones at fault, down my throat for some reason. And I am like, people do watch dinosaur movies. That's how you are earning so much money. Now, to counteract that self-made problem, they go ahead and create a solution no one asked for. The hybrid dinosaurs. Sure, I would give a pass to the Indominus Rex, but again and again, the movie doesn't have to tell me what I do like and what I don't. But I guess here we are. And to all the folks saying that actually they weren't dinosaurs to begin with, just let me enjoy a dinosaur movie. Come on. We get a scene referencing the Velociraptor kitchen scene from the first movie, which was kind of boring. I have already watched that one before, which was better by the way. Like, you are telling me the Mutodons can fly, but it doesn't elevate the situation here. What if the Mutodons could fly inside the shop or something? That would have really increased the threat level and it would have been something new. But no, you created hybrids, but don't even show them off properly. Like, give them abilities that would make me feel that it was cool, which I actually did for a few seconds when you see the Mutodon drop from the ceiling. Another issue with that was that the film takes away screen time from the actual dinosaurs. Like, I was actually kind of hyped up to see the Velociraptor design and how they would do something with that, but instead we got them killed off in the background by the Mutants. It is kind of frustrating at points because you see all the promotional material and then you go to see the movie and they are basically not even in it. Like the Ankylosaurus, which was in there for a split second. So the Mutants could have been even more threatening at that point, but it unfortunately comes at a cost. The cost of killing characters.
Survival is a long shot.
How do I even begin? This movie is trying to show me that the team who trained for this stuff have gone to so many missions before it and came out alive are somehow dead here, but the family is alive. That doesn't even make sense. Like, if there was heavy government patrol and warnings, how did they even manage to get in that situation? How did they even plan that trip going so close to a dangerous island? Even in real life, it is an extremely hard task and it wouldn't even be possible. Continuing the scene, oh wait, they would have died in their introduction scene alone, and that would have been the end of their story. Even if we are somehow made to believe that, oh, the Mosasaurs just attacked the boat for defending its territory, but they survived the whole movie. Just how? Like this guy, who we are shown as the cold-hearted bad guy, gets killed off because he isn't aware of his surroundings. I guess he was the bad guy, so that's okay, right? What if he was the good guy? What if he was the one who suggested saving the family first? Even then it doesn't make sense. You are telling me that the whole world knows of literal murder machines and this guy thinks that it is nothing? At least make his character showcase that in some way. Like maybe he thinks he's invincible or something. Because I just don't buy that death. The kid during this sequence would have died countless times. No, the whole family would have died countless amounts of times throughout the whole movie. But I guess dinosaurs aren't that big of a threat now. The only point where I was somewhat concerned was when the daughter actually falls into the Spinosaur-infested waters. That scene with Krebs was actually a good one and she was alright, so I never got concerned for them again. Here we also see the dumbest death in this movie. Yeah, let's just move forward. Anyways, now getting to one of the good scenes which I was genuinely interested to see. The T-Rex river crossing scene. But unfortunately, it was completely spoiled in the promotions. In this sequence, I feel the best outcome would have been to kill off the dad, like right here. That would make it much more impactful. This would also pave the way for the daughter and his boyfriend to step up to take a more responsible role as a guardian and give the boyfriend a chance for better character development. It felt so less impactful seeing the T-Rex barely missing, and since I was expecting to see them come alive after this, it would have been really unexpected but would be realistic as well.
That's kind of our specialty.
The only characters that I felt were good in this movie were Duncan and Dr. Loomis. Others I didn't even care about enough as they were mostly used as fodder for the dinosaurs. I don't even have anything to say about the family, they were just there for increasing the movie time, I guess. You could literally just skip all of their scenes and it wouldn't even make a difference. Krebs is basically your evil corporate boss like the other ones in the franchise, I guess. Nothing new to talk about. One of the points that felt annoying to me was that they wanted to have sad backstories for characters, which felt forced. If they did want to make them have a sad story, then show that on screen. But there was nothing. The better way to approach this would have been looking at how we see Dr. Alan Grant disliking kids at the start of the first Jurassic Park, and over time he starts liking them, which was interesting as they showed it on screen, rather than just having the movie info dump that on us, because it felt a bit boring. Another forcing of emotions I felt was during the Mosasaurus sequence, when Krebs is shouting to force us feel the tension, even though the situation doesn't feel that tense yet.
Interspecies symbiosis!
This movie had one of the weirdest promotional campaigns in my opinion. Like they showed each and every scene in the trailers. There's literally nothing more to see in the movie. Each and every point is disclosed in the trailers. It's basically watching a TikTok version of the whole movie, which took the fun out of the movie itself as there wasn't anything else to look forward to. They literally spoiled the whole T-Rex river sequence. I don't know what they were trying to achieve with that. People were going to come to the theaters anyway. Maybe they were trying to copy how the first minutes of Superman was released beforehand. I guess they weren't able to balance the amount of content to be shown and to be kept a secret. But I was really hoping that there would have been more content in the movie. The most funniest and probably the saddest thing was the Spinosaurus vs. T-Rex toy advertisement. Interesting. This feels like subtle foreshadowing. Is this foreshadowing I see? Spoiler? Did they seriously just spoil that the D-Rex will fight the Spino? Well done, LOL. Foreshadowing is defined as an indication of something that will happen in the future, often used as a literary device to hint at future plot developments. Update, never mind. Absolutely baffling marketing. Went months with absolutely nothing, then they spoiled the whole film in about a week. I just hope that wasn't just a marketing tactic to hype us up, because if it was, I was hyped up. Seeing the Spinosaurus was amazing, and if we would get some sort of interaction between them and the D-Rex, honestly, that would have been cool. Now, the movie ends with a fake sacrifice scene from Duncan, and I was just so disappointed. It was like I was robbed of the emotional reward from watching his story at the ending there. And that's mostly because movies nowadays are all aiming to build universes and continue their franchises. But they don't realize that they have to create a great standalone film first. They could even go as far as to create a completely one-off movie, and if it's a good one, you can create another one of it. Have the actors play different characters if you're so adamant about bringing them back. Sure, the audience may feel that would be weird to watch, but at least I get a good movie today and worry about the next one later. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Giving the time out of your day to watch this completely just shows that there is a passionate fan base for these movies, but unfortunately the franchise has been sucked dry now. Anyways, thanks for watching. Again, thanks a lot for the 10,000 subscribers, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.